Hello Spider Peeps. Well, guess what I'm doing today? Well, I'm not doing silicone moulding because I've already done that, and I just thought I'd demold this because I've got some plans for this. So let's try and do this. Now you can actually see me making the mould. It's not a very good video because my big, as Terrain by Aaron would say, monkey hands are in front of the camera most of the time. But I thought I'd record it a little bit because this isn't about making the silicone part of the mould. This is about actually casting one of the objects in it. Let's just finish this. And could you guess what was in it by looking at the top down view? I'll show you what it was in a minute. Let's just begin to cut this out. That's the only cut on this model, which is just to open this up here. There we go. All right, and out it comes. Give it a little bit of help just down the bottom there, and it should just come out in one go. There we go. Yeah, so it's Aqua. It's Aqua by Crafsman. Now I know I'm moulding. Now I know I'm copying something that Crafsman's made. I'm sure he won't mind. This is a 3D printed version of it, which I did buy from his store. So that's a 3D model. And then I've cast it a few times. I've done quite a few things on it. This is a resin casting. I've done polyurethane castings as well. And then I've played about with other things as well. I can't remember whether I've ever shown you that. This is a heavy one. That's full of BBs or ball bearings anyway. So yeah, so it was time to do another Aqua model. So that's why I made this mould, just to try a different technique. So before I've put resin in it and all manner of stuff to get this sort of effect, I've taken some nail varnish effects and painted it on the inside of the mould, then filled it with resin. I've even done metallic ones where I filled it with iron filings taken from Craftsman as well, and how he showed us to do it. So what I'm going to do with this time, well, I'm going to fill it with 3D printer poo. All right, so this is some of the poop that 3D printer does every time it changes its filament. You see I've been printing out quite boring red, black and see-through things at the moment. My printer just started. It's having a moan at me. I must have unplugged something when I just pulled it out to get this out. I'll just wait till it finishes talking. Alright, so ironically, I'd come up with an idea for doing this. I think I saw Ben's Works do it with a frog. And I came up with an idea for doing this. And actually, literally, while I was pouring this mould and waiting for it to dry, Uncle Jesse put a video out doing the same thing. He beat me. Anyway, I'm going to try it with this. So the idea is that I take some of this is all thermoplastic of course, and I melt it and drip it into there and see whether I can make a printer filament Aqua. Now I've got no idea whether there's enough here to do the whole thing, but we'll see. We can only try, can't we? All right, and I've got to work out how on earth I'm going to melt it to begin with. So I'm just going to try with hot air to start with. Let's take just take some of this, which is just PLA. There's lots of different bits of stuff in here. It's PLA and TPU, I think, and some PETG, all different types of plastic. So let's see what happens if I just take my hot air gun At the moment that's set to 100. I'm going to set it up to 200, which is the, well, I'll set it up to 230, which is the melting point of most of the plastics here. And let's just take this and see whether it will drip in. It's curling already, so it's beginning to melt, which is good. The trouble is it's not the right consistency to drip. I want it to drip in there really. Alright, that's not going to work as such, so I'm just going to push it down and try and get it into the eyes if I can. Alright, so it's not going to work that way, so I'm going to have to try something else. Right, so what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to fill this up with 3D printed stuff, fill it up with these and put it in the oven. I'll put it in the oven at 200 and see what happens. See whether it destroys everything. So let's put some of these in. Don't know whether I should chop these up first. I think I should. Now Uncle Jesse used a food processor. I've not got one of those, so I'm just going to use one of my specialized food processors here and try it that way. All right, so I think a lot of these are like curvy. If I cut them up like that, I'm hoping it will break into lots of little parts. Well, it won't really. All right, let's just stuff them in here. We'll see how it goes. I think the trouble is there's so much air in these to begin with that it's going to take quite a while to heat them up. Well, I'm going to have to keep on refilling it when these are melted. See, that's already distorted the mould out of shape. Right, let's just cut these so none of this goes on the inside of the oven, if I can help it. And I don't know, well, I will, let's just trim the end off as well. Make sure I don't get many of my silicone mixed up with my filament poop. Has anyone heard from Robert Talloon at the moment? I'm concerned by his absence on the internet. I hope he's all right. It was him who I first saw cutting the edges off moulds like this to make it work nicer. In fact, most of the things I do with the mould are Robert Talloon. The only thing is Adam Savage used to use this, well, uses this foam core to make the moulds, which I think is good. Like in this one, I was able to really reduce the amount of silicone I used. I used 100 grams of silicone in this because I was able to get really close to the edges of Aqua. Yeah, Robert's not posted a video recently, so hope he's all right. All right, so let's pop this in the oven. I'll do it for 200 for 15 minutes and see whether the mould reconforms to its shape. Then at least I know it's well. And if this drops to the bottom, let's see what happens. I'll see you in a while, and probably in oven gloves next. So this has been on in the oven for about 20 minutes, 200 degrees C. And all of the filament has fallen down. So this was at the top when I first put it in there. I've cut some up and pushed it down there. I've not just used the spirals because the spirals will collapse, so I've just chopped through them. So I will stuff this full again with some bits and bake it again, and the silicone seems to hold up quite well. Okay, so it's several days later. So this has been in the oven about 6, 7, 8 times. The problem is you can't get enough heat. Well, you can't get enough filament in it. There's too many gaps between the filament and it doesn't really flow very well. So every time you heat it, the filament goes all the way down, hopefully to the bottom, although it really doesn't feel like it's in the eyes. And I had to keep on chopping it up and putting more filament in. Thankfully, in the end, I had some ends of some PETG that I was using, which I chopped up into little grains of rice and put those in there. But I had to fill it up several times. But anyway, here's the great reveal. I'm hoping, yeah, oh, that's good. It looks like it's going to release okay. No, I didn't use mold release. But let's try it. Has it gone into the eyes? I have no idea. I mean, it's catching. That's good. Oh well, it's a bit weird. I mean, all of these are a bit weird when people try and do that, but it's definitely got character, if nothing else. It looks, I don't know what it looks like. It's funny how the red's just gone into the lips completely accidentally, so he's got red lips. And then he's got a brain, like just an eye there that just looks like a brain. Oh, sorry, Aqua. Anyway, Crafsman, what do you think of this? What do you think of this terrible approximation of such a brilliant toy that you made? Anyway, so is this viable? No, of course it's not viable. I've seen some other people like fill it up with the printer poo and then fill it with resin, but that's weird as well. It doesn't look right. I think it's better that the printer poo is melted, but you can't get a smooth flow on it. So yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little video, this little proof of not a concept, and stay subscribed. Tell me what you think about this. Tell me what you'd try and mould. I think flat moulds are better. Have you had a go at this? Let me know. Anyway, if you want to see what I do next, please subscribe. Bye.